How much land are we talking about?
An acre.
An acre of land?
Yes.
What was the purpose that land was given to you for, Mr. Ragunanan, by your father?
It was for the purpose of to have a place for myself and my son, more so of my son.
For your son?
Yes.
You have a statement, there's a statement in front of you, and I want to take you to SR1 in that statement. Go to the label that says SR1, look after the first page. You see that document there?
Yes.
What is that document? Can you describe it for us?
It's a certificate of title. It's a certificate of title from Rupnarayan Ragunanan.
And that parcel of land was transferred to you?
Yes, it was.
Mr. Commissioner, unfortunately, when the certificate of title was photocopied, the reverse side of the certificate, where the endorsement of title, of transfers of title is made, was not copied. And I'm passing to the witness now and to the Commissioner a copy of the reverse side of that certificate of title.
A spare copy.
Yes. I'm passing copies to the parties. Mr. Ragunanan, I want to take you to the first endorsement on the back of the certificate of title. That is the document that has just passed you. And can you read that out to me?
Memorandum of transfer from Rupnarayan Ragunanan, also called Rupnarayan Ragunanan, which is spelled differently, to Sunita Ragunanan Badri on the 5th day of December 2002.
That's all right. That's all I need from you from that. Now, at some point in time, Ms. Ragunanan, you wanted to sell this parcel of land?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us why you wanted to sell that parcel of land?
So I can get a house for myself and my son.
Did you have any other asset at that time, Ms. Ragunanan?
No, I didn't.
What steps you took to get that parcel of land sold?
I inquired within the HCU from different persons.
And did anyone show any interest in purchasing that parcel of land from you?
Yes.
Can you tell us who that person was?
Mr. Hari Harinarayan approached me.
Right. I want you to tell the Commissioner exactly what transpired between yourself and Mr. Hari Harinarayan with respect to the purchase of this parcel of land.
Mr. Harinarayan approached me and asked me, he said he heard I have a piece of land to sell, and I indicated to him, yes, I do. He told me that he's interested in the property and how much would I be selling it for. I gave him the figure, and we discussed it in his office, and we even discussed the interest rate as to if it is I would be investing the monies into the HCU. Also, I indicated to him the reason for me selling this land is to get a house for myself and my son. And then we spoke about a house in the Pine.
And this is the Pine development you're speaking?
That's the Pine development.
And this Pine development is an HCU development?
Yes.
Go on.
And
what did Mr. Harinarayan tell you about getting a house in the Pine development?
He said that I will get a house in the Pine I can look at a house in the Pine. The house would be, I think it's 500,000. And then the extra money, I would get the extra money after. And after that, I went and I looked at the houses in the Pine, and it was not satisfactory because the houses were cracked, and there were other defects in the houses.
Now, Ms. Raghunandan, I want you to be very clear, and it is very important that you listen carefully to these questions and answer exactly what I ask you. When you spoke to Mr. Harry Narayan about selling your land, and you, with him, and the discussions that you had with him with respect to the house in the Pine, did you understand him to be saying that the house is going, that your land is going to be bought by him, or the land is going to be bought by the Hindu Credit Union?
By him.
By him?
By him.
And the agreement that you all proposed was that Mr. Harry Narayan will buy the land, and in consideration you will get an HCU house in the Pine, and the remainder would be paid in cash.
Yes.
What transpired subsequent to you going and seeing the house in the Pine and you seeing the defects?
I was not satisfied with the house that I saw, and then I can't remember if I spoke with him or the CEO, and I did indicate that I'm not satisfied with the house. I would like another house which would be at the front. And so happened, no houses were available.
No houses were available?
No houses were available.
Since you were informed that no house was available in the Pine, where you wanted a house, did you proceed further with the sale of the land?
Well, actually, it was just left lying, and the transaction went through.
The transaction went through?
It went through.
I want you, Mr. Raghunandan, take your time and tell us what were the circumstances in which that transaction went through, as best as you can remember.
I was approached by someone who was assistant with the legal worker to
Do you remember the name of that person?
Yes, I do.
What is the name of that person?
Sunil Sicharan.
Was that person an employee of the Hindu Credit Union that time?
He was, yes.
And you were approached by Mr. Sicharan, and what transpired between yourself and Mr. Sicharan?
Mr. Sicharan brought a document for me to sign, and the document had indicated a certain figure on it, and he said that when I queried the figure, he said that was for tax purposes or something like that.
All right. And let me try and get this out of you without us revealing what the figure was.
Yes.
The figure that was on the document that you signed, that was brought to you by Mr. Sicharan, is it correct to say that that figure was about 3 times less what the value of the land was that you wanted to sell?
That's right.
And the document that you signed, which had a figure on it 3 times less.
Yes.
Who was the land transferred to when you signed that document? Was it Mr. Harry Narayan?
No.
Who was it?
It was his wife and 2 children.
Now, I want you to go back to the back sheet of the certificate of title. And I want you to look at the second endorsement. And I want you to read out the second endorsement for me.
Memorandum of Transfer number 80, dated the 5th of April 2007, from Sunita Raghunandan Badri to Roma Harnarayan, Amrit Veer Harnarayan, and Devani Amrit Parvati Harnarayan as joint tenants. Registered the 16th day of April 2007.
At any point in time, Ms. Ragunanan, before you signed that document that we were speaking about, did you know or was it told to you that the land is going to be transferred to these people, Roma Harinarayan, Amrit and Divani Harinarayan?
Yes, he did.
He did.
He did.
When you signed that document that you signed, did you have a lawyer acting for you?
No, I did not.
Was that document ever explained to you?
No.
Did you receive any money when you signed that document?
No, I did not.
So you parted possession with the property by signing the document and you didn't receive any money?
No.
Subsequent to signing that document, was a copy of that document ever given to you?
No, it was not.
Did you ever request a copy of that document?
No, I did not.
After you signed that document, did you make any attempts to get the money, that the purchase price for the property that you transferred?
Yes, I did.
Tell me what attempts you made to get the money for the purchase that represented the purchase price.
I did ask Mr. Hanarain about it, and I did send several notes to him
When you
as a reminder.
I'm sorry, continue.
As a reminder.
When you asked Mr. Harinarayan for when you were going to get paid, what was his response?
Many times I didn't speak with him directly. I used to just send the notes.
And who would you send these notes with?
I would send the notes with the driver.
His driver?
His driver.
And when you sent these notes to him via the driver, did you get any response?
I did get a response once. He indicated that the property is not transferred yet.
The property is not transferred as yet.
Yes.
And when were you going to be paid? Did he tell you when you were going to be paid?
No.
After that document was signed, and we're speaking about